I think I might have finally locked this down. What's going on, everyone? Back with another episode of Stuff and Things, and today I'm finally bringing you guys another EDC update. Now, I know that it is almost spring, but there is still a lot of snow outside, so this will basically serve as my winter EDC update. I've been trying to do these every season, so summer, fall, winter, and spring. But the reason why I've been kind of off schedule with the whole thing is because I like to test out and try a lot of different products. You guys know you see me reviewing different things all the time, so I'm kind of testing things for a few weeks at a time to figure out where it will actually fit into my rotation. I am at a point now, and you can sort of tell by the title of the video, it's almost locked down. I have my EDC to a point where almost everything is the same as it either has been in the past or it has been for a while. I'm obviously still testing and carrying different pieces of gear all the time to make videos on that stuff, but for the most part, I always go back to a lot of these same items. So to start off, I'm going to get a lot of the same old stuff out of the way, let you guys know what it is, why I'm still carrying it, and then I will move on into the newer stuff, some things that you guys may have seen in videos before, and then I'll explain to you why I believe that these will be in my rotation or my EDC lineup for a while. So without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with my cell phone. Kind of boring, I know. I am still rocking the Google Pixel 2 XL. The phone has been great, and this is something that I obviously rely on because I do stuff here on the internet. This is sort of one of those things that is a mainstay, but at the same time, if this thing breaks or goes down for any reason, chances are I'm going to be buying a new one tomorrow. This is something that is obviously upgraded in a lot of people's carry systems that they use, if you want to call it that. But for the most part, I'm still sticking with Android. I like the Google Pixels because it is a stock Android experience. I am still, of course, rocking a pop socket on the back of my phone here. This is the rifling one. It looks like rifling or actually a camera aperture, which is why this one is my favorite. It has the TS logo in the middle there. And then I also switched back to this clear case that I got on Amazon. It's kind of gross and dirty, but I like bleached the crap out of it. And yeah, this is probably my favorite case. Super inexpensive, and I will leave a link for that in the description down below. I've also gotten a lot of questions on this screen protector in the past. It's like a matte type of finish, so your finger slides around on it. You can sort of tell in the light that it is basically anti-glare. I will also leave a link for that in the description, as well as everything else if you guys want to pick stuff up, and I also have some discount codes, so be sure to check that out. So that is the phone. That thing has been the same for a while now. Let's move on to my keys. I carry my keys, same place as always, back here on my belt loop, and then I tuck the keys into my back pocket. Still rocking the Travax Link. Now, I know people are going to ask about this because you guys ask in every video, what's the deal with the Travax Link? If you've been following along on the channel, you will see that I did get a chance to sit down with Mark. He is the owner and founder of Travax, and I, of course, asked him questions about the link. The video with information regarding that will be out sometime mid to late March. I asked him all of the questions that you guys asked me about this quick detach lanyard. I know you guys want it back, and I relayed all of that information, so he provided an answer, and that will be coming out here on the channel relatively soon. I never thought a little lanyard like this would stir up so much commotion. If you guys were watching the channel when I first made a video on these, maybe you should have bought one at that time. But for real though, awesome product, and I'm excited to let you guys know what is going on with these. Also on the keys, I have my house keys and my car key, and then also these are some mainstays as well. The Olight i1R EOS, this one actually has my name on it, which you can sort of see there. It's a little Boba Fetted. It's got some scratches and everything because this thing has been on my keys for a while. Also on my motorcycle keys and my other car that I had previously owned, I bought some more of these to put on there. Twist on for low mode, it's about 5 lumens, and then ramp it all the way up, you get a little over 100 there. I believe it's about 130. This thing is relatively cheap. You can get them on Amazon. Definitely recommend it. I keep these on all of my keys. And then also the Gerber Shard. Love this thing. I guess you could consider it a multi-tool. You guys have seen this a million times. Really cheap, but also one of the most used things that I carry in my pockets every single day. So if you don't have one of these, buy one. What are you waiting for? I really don't say that very often about a lot of products, but the thing is just like a couple bucks, and it's just super useful to me, so chances are you guys will use something like that too. Now let's move on to my wallet. Of course, I'm still rocking a Travax wallet. This is another item that I switch out pretty frequently between this one and a lot of other Travax products. But for the most part, I always come back to the contour. This is the black contour. Currently I have about 6 cards in here, and then 7 if you include the Travax Shift, which is a beard comb or hair comb. I actually use that thing quite a lot. I've shown this a million times, so I won't beat you guys to death with it, but it's got my logo on the back here. This was a limited edition, just one of these actually made. I've used basically every single wallet that Travax makes, but I always come back to this one just because it's sort of rounded. The leather is really nice. It's a good combo of metal and leather. It's got a bottle opener here. Of course, I'm keeping some cash in the back here, which I don't have all the time. And out of all of the wallets, since I keep this thing in my front pocket, it is the best feeling. It's sort of like rounded, and it just, I don't know, it has a good feel to it. If you guys ever handled any of the Travax wallets, you'll know that they have a very cool mesh of metal and leather, and this one is just my favorite out of all of them. So that's the wallet. Like I said, that thing does not change very much either. That is basically locked in place. And then also with the Travax products, I am still using their cinch belt. Here I have the Travax cinch. Again, this is something that you guys see all the time. Super simple design, a nice contoured belt buckle. It has a little bit of a curve to it. It holds up my pants with all of this stuff in my pockets as well as a firearm. This one is getting a little bit bacony because this is the TS version. I've had this thing for a while, so obviously you can see where the belt actually sits every single day. That does not bother me in the slightest. This thing is still surprisingly rigid. I don't know what actual webbing that they use, but this stuff is just top notch. It is just super simple, very affordable, and I always come back to the cinch because I test a lot of belts and this thing just works. Extremely simple, easy to put on. Just put it through there, cinch it down. I just really enjoy these belts. So that's basically it for the mainstay type of stuff, but now let's go into some of the newcomers that I believe will be sticking around for a while, starting with my pocket knife. I just recently did a video on this, so if you guys want to check it out, I'll leave a link for it right up there in the corner. The Chris Reeves Sebenza 21. I'm really not going to go into detail on this because I went into so much detail in the actual video of this knife. Yes, it is expensive. Yes, people will call you a fanboy if you like these knives, because if you like anything that is popular, you are automatically a fanboy, like Glocks. We will get to that in a second. But I just really love this knife. This is the pocket knife that all others are basically being compared to today and have been for a long time. The tolerances are incredible. It is titanium and micarta, really cool blade shape. I love the tanto because I like to kind of scrape and stab and pry a little bit. You shouldn't really do that with a knife of this caliber, but you know, it's a workhorse, so that's what I do with it. I have been testing a lot of other knives, but I always come back to the Sebenza just because it is such a good knife, and oh, it's so smooth. If you've never opened and closed a Sebenza like this, ooh, you gotta do it, it's great. So that is a pocket knife. Again, for more information, check out that video. And now we're moving on to the final 2 items. These are the ones that I probably swap out most frequently. It's not that I'm not happy with them, but I am constantly just trying new things. One of them that I know will probably definitely change in the future is my EDC Light. I've talked about how important and useful it is to actually carry a light like this. A lot of people are like, why do you need all that extra stuff in your pockets? You have a light on your cell phone. That's fine, I get that, but the same thing with carrying a pocket knife. If you've never had one in your pocket when you needed it, you definitely won't understand carrying one every single day. I do carry a light pretty frequently, almost every single day, especially in the winter because it gets dark a lot earlier. And since I reviewed this one has been in my pocket almost full time. This is the Olight S2R Baton 2. Just like the keychain light, this thing is also rechargeable on the back here. I will leave a link to the video of it right up here if you want to check that out. It's got a good pocket clip. You could also clip it on the front bill of a hat. There's a bunch of different modes on here. This thing gets super bright. If I press and hold this, you can see it will cycle through the modes, or if I simply double tap it, it will ramp all the way up to the turbo mode. This thing's a great light. I actually have not had to recharge it yet, and I do use it pretty frequently. But the reason that I say that this thing will probably not stay in my EDC is because I really love the form factor of it, but there are some things that I would want to change. The size of it and the battery and that it's rechargeable, the pocket clip, there are so many things that I like about this light. I love the way it feels in my hand, but the few things that I would change about it it. One, this is something that probably is not going to change, but I'm really not a fan of the blue accents that Olight puts on a lot of their stuff. As you can see here, the bezel is blue, and then around the button there to activate it, that's blue as well. That is being super nitpicky, but as you guys know, I like all black everything, so I wish that would change. If they were going to change the blue bezel, I would like to see like a strike bezel on there, maybe just like a little bit of a crown. And this is not a light that I'm going to be like slamming people in the face with or anything like that, but just to have that little bit of extra functionality and then get rid of that blue, I think that would be a good touch. As you can see, it's sort of scratched up here on the front, but the main thing that I would change is the actual button on this light. As you can see, this thing fits almost perfectly in my hand. I do like the rechargeable cap, but Olight, if you're watching this, please make a new version like this. Take what you did with the M2R Warrior with the clicky tail cap and put that in here. That has a clicky tail cap and it is rechargeable. I know that light is significantly bigger, so you probably have to like scale things down, but if this thing had a clicky tail cap and you got rid of the blue, that would be my version of almost the perfect light for me. Every time I pull this thing out of my pocket, if I'm shining it around, I constantly want to put my thumb back here and activate the light, but obviously there's nothing there. So if you can make a light this size, this exact form factor with a clicky tail cap, that would be a huge plus. Also, if you could get rid of the blue, that would be great too, but again, that's just me kind of nitpicking. So that is my light. Hopefully Olight will come out with something that size with a clicky tail cap with all those recommendations. Then I will definitely be switching that. And now for the final thing, the firearm that I choose to carry. This is definitely something that I go back and forth with a lot. Obviously, I shoot a lot of different handguns, and my tastes and preferences change all the time. I don't necessarily recommend switching out your carry gun all the time. You should definitely get proficient with one. But the reason why I do it so much is because I'm testing this stuff to make videos on for people like yourself. Since my last EDC update, I can't even really remember what I was carrying at the time of that video, but since then I've definitely had a bunch of different guns in the rotation. Up until maybe about a month or a month and a half ago, I was carrying M&P 2.0s. I actually carried the Glock 17 FS MOS for a while with an X300 and the RMR on it. That was completely ridiculous. I of course carry everything in an appendix rig, and then when I kind of sat back and put everything into perspective, I was like, I'm really not going to use a firearm statistically. I live in an area with relatively low crime rate. There aren't many people around me. I don't live in the middle of nowhere, but I don't feel like I need to have a Glock 17 with 17, 18 rounds, spare mags, all of that tactical stuff. So I've slowly been kind of converting to the smaller guns again, something that is just easy to carry with me all the time so I don't get lazy with it and then just leave my gun at home. So I had actually switched to the Glock 43. I switched back to that actually. I've carried it in the past, and I was very happy with that gun until you guys may have seen last Sunday's video. I'll leave a link for it right there, when I finally got my hands on this, the Glock 43X. Now I'm not going to kill you guys with details again about why I like this gun more than the 43, but one of the main things being is that I was somewhat okay with the low round count of the regular 43. This one gives me 10 rounds now, which is a big plus. The ammo, by the way, I'm using Federal HSTs. I believe these are 124 grain. There's a lot of good ammo out there, and chances are that is something that will change again in the future. But I've been using that for a while, and it seems to be very reliable and a good round. But back to the gun, the other thing other than capacity that this gives me is that way better grip. It still conceals very, very well. It is nice and slim. There is also a company that will be coming out with a 15 round mag as long as they're reliable. So basically this will be like a shorter slide but slimmer grip Glock 19. If this thing can have a 15 round capacity and be reliable, this is definitely going to be Glock's #1 selling gun this year. Actually, even without that mag, I still believe that this is going to be Glock's #1 seller this year. It is just a super good firearm. So I really do like the 43X. Like I said, I've been carrying this for maybe like a month and a half now, ever since I received it. I'm still not a huge fan of it not being black. A lot of people in the video of this gun were just like, yo, put your 43 slide on there. yes, I could do that as well. The reason why I have not done that is simply because the frame does not match up with the slide then. This one also has front serrations, which is nice, and this just works. There's no point in me changing it. The trigger is still great for a Glock trigger. I just shoot this thing very well, and the only thing that I probably will change is the sights. They're just stock Glock sights. I really like the True Glows, the TFOs, or the TFXs, but like I said, I may also send this thing out for some framework, maybe an RMR or a RMSC cut. But overall, I'm super happy with carrying this gun. Stock configuration, there's a lot of pluses to that. And I am carrying it in a QVO more discreet holster. This is something also that does not change. I only use QVO holsters for some obvious reasons. This one happens to be a newer vacuum form with the black multicam and then obviously the wing to keep the pressure on your belt, keep this thing up against my stomach. It's a great gun, and I don't think that will be changing much anytime soon. So there you guys have it. Hopefully pretty quick rundown of my EDC as of now. Like I said, it's almost locked down. I may swap out the light if I find something that I like a little bit better. I may also do some modifications to the 43X. One thing that I'm definitely not changing though is the trigger. I will probably change the sights. I may cut the slide for a red dot on top. I'll probably stipple the frame. Maybe I will add that 15 round mag if it's reliable. And then I might even consider Cerakoting it, but for the most part, it's kind of growing on me now. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Of course, I'm still going to continue testing a lot of different other EDC related products, wallets, lights, knives, different guns, of course, and things like that. But for the most part, this is almost locked down to be my perfect EDC. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them there. I will leave links and discount codes to all relevant videos and products and everything like that in the description down below. And hopefully that satisfied your need for my EDC Pocket Dump winter update. All right, well, that is all. If you guys are new to this channel, consider clicking subscribe. I make new videos every week. That is all for today. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.